Welcome to episode 86 of Southern Gospel Now. Greg Goodman here to catch you up to date on everything going on in Southern Gospel music. Southern Gospel Now is brought to you by SouthernGospelPrizes.com, where you can register to win Southern Gospel Prize Packs. We start this week with Karen Peck Gooch talking about the excitement of Karen Peck and New River being nominated for a Grammy Award.
We are so excited and thrilled to have the Grammy nomination, and we thank the Lord for this platform because maybe someone will see that we're nominated. They'll see 222. They may not know who we are, but they'll see those numbers and think, what's that about? And then when they hear the songs, they'll see that there is hope in Jesus, and that's why we do what we do. Every song that was written that I had the privilege of being a part of, these songs were written from every part of my heart and my soul, and I just pray that the Lord will use this platform to encourage people to keep moving on, and it just thrills my soul to think that this album can make a difference in someone's life.
Appalachian Roadshow made their first ever appearance on the Grand Ole Opry over Thanksgiving weekend. Jim Van Cleve said of the appearance, quote, "Honestly, I don't know how it could have possibly gone any better. The crowd response was insane," end quote. Insane in a good way, that is. Congratulations to Appalachian Roadshow on being featured on this world-famous stage. Becky Bowman recently put out her first solo project, Songs That Pulled Me Through the Tough Times. Becky tells us about the genesis of this album.
Kelly Back was on the session as well as a lot of other artists, and I was singing background vocals for another artist, and I had heard this particular song, and I thought, oh my goodness, I would love to record that song. And Kelly Back says to me, well, you should record it on your next solo record. And I said, oh, I've never made a solo record. And he said, why not? I said, I'm way too shy. I just couldn't do it. And I said, besides that, I would love to do it with Guitar Heroes. He said, all your Guitar Heroes would do that. And I said, I don't think any of them would. The session was over about 7 p.m. that night, and we all go to eat because we're starving. And we're sitting at the table, and I noticed Kelly was texting on his phone a lot. And then right before he paid his ticket, he looks up from the little thing that holds your bill, and he said, I'll be at Ben's studio April the 14th, whatever the date was, at 11 a.m. Don't stand me up. And I had 2 weeks to prepare myself for the beginning of a solo record with my Guitar Heroes and friends.
The Isaacs and High Road were in Norway for the Thanksgiving holiday. They were sharing their brand of bluegrass gospel. It was the second time in just a few months in Norway for High Road. Triumphant Quartet is among the Southern gospel groups that will be delivering new music in the new year. Triumphant's David Sutton tells us more.
Man, we are so excited about this recording. It's going to be something a little different for us. We've been working on this project now actually a little over a year. It's taken a little while to get everybody and on the same page and work all the details out, you know, with Triumphant schedule, with the producer Wayne Hahn's schedule, studio scheduling, sickness in families. You know, there's just been a lot going on over the past year, and we are finally almost done with this recording. It's going to come out January the 20th, and we're so excited about it. It's going to be called Hymns and Worship by Triumphant Quartet. Hymns and Worship, Triumphant Quartet.
The first Daywind Records project for the Guardians is Come On In. Pat Barker says that the group returned to an older pattern of structuring the album that might be familiar to longtime Southern gospel fans.
When I think about great projects, for me, I go back to those old LPs. I'm a guy who just loves to collect records, and what they did back in the day that groups honestly don't do that much anymore is they had a beginning song that, man, got you excited about it, and then they had that release song. You knew it was coming kind of in the middle of the record, and then they had a great song to close everything out. And we've kind of gone back to that. John has mentioned a theme. Man, when that album kicks off with Come On Into This House, it gets you excited.
The latest single from The Sound is Never Not God. Levi Mills says the song has a very definitive chorus.
So one of the cool things that I've always loved about this chorus is how definitive it is. When we started going through these attributes of what is, and of course the question that we were asking ourselves is, God is always what? And then we were playing on the never not thing. So we were saying, what is God? Well, he's faithful. and that's never changed. He's kind. That's never changed. He's perfect. That has never changed. He's never not on time. And so we started going through all of these things. It was just a really powerful reminder, even for us while we were writing it, about these attributes of God and how God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and how there's nothing that's ever going to change that.
The current song from Jim and Melissa Brady is Welcome. Melissa says that as discussed in the song, church community is so important.
Welcome to the house of the Lord is such a great message to remind us that if we can find a great church where we can find a community of friends that are a support to us and love us well, and that the pastor will teach us from the word about what God will do for us in our lives and how he will walk with us through every circumstance. Well, that's a message I love to sing.
Lots of Southern gospel groups have halted touring in front of the Christmas holidays, while others are moving ahead with special Christmas tours. Michael Booth says the Booth brothers have scaled way back on touring.
We're doing about probably 70 dates a year, where we used to do 150. But the difference is Jim and Melissa Brady have their schedule. Buddy has a full schedule with Hope for the World, his ministry with orphans in Albania. And so this is not a group that is built to run full time, if you will. So we run about half a schedule. When Buddy and Jim are out doing their thing and the Booth brothers are off that particular weekend, I will be spreading my wings doing some solo concert. And I'm really enjoying that.
As Christmas approaches, we'll share some Christmas content with you. We get that started with the Nelons. Kelly Nealon Clark talks about visits to her grandma as a child during the Christmas season.
Christmas is not always about the biggest gift or what you wanted all year. Sometimes it's just the very little small things that just make your day. When I was a little girl, every year, the week before Christmas, we would travel to my grandmother's house in Asheville, North Carolina. And we had the best time. She was very simple and had little simple gifts, but they meant the world to me.
Such sweet memories. Number 1 on the Singing News Power 50 chart this week, Not For Long from the Guardians. That makes 4 weeks for the song at the top of the chart. Well, that's it for this week. If you missed episodes of Southern Gospel Now along the way, you can always go back and listen to them wherever you get podcasts or at southerngospelnow.com. Southern Gospel Now is brought to you by southerngospelprizes.com. I'm Greg Goodman. Thank you so much for listening. Love your neighbor, and I'll see you next week for another edition of Southern Gospel Now.